Red Pill Manosphere, and to all the good faithful family. Welcome to the Good Faith Podcast. Oh, fuck, I just muted myself. And I'm cursing the first, 10 seconds of this podcast. That's why I'm never going to get monetized. Welcome to the Good Faith Podcast, where we maneuver around toxic debauchery, attempting to find harmony with our fellow man and dissect society's caustic degeneracy. If it's a pre-apocalyptic dystopia that you seek, then look no further, because here it is. I'm your host, Ninjah Bullock. I understand you could have been a million other places, and the time is the most precious commodity that any of us have. So from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to share my gratitude with all you viewers. Viewer and listener discretion is advised. Due to the sensitive nature of some of our topics, I hope that you will shield youngins from some of the vulgarity that may be spewed here. It must be noted that the views expressed by the panel are not necessarily the views of the Good Faith Podcast. And tonight, especially, they're not even necessarily the views of themselves. I'll get into that in a little bit. But we're no fiduciary. We assume no culpability of investment performance as a result of following our financial advice. Our simple aim is to entertain and inform you guys. Anybody living in the greater Philadelphia area, anyone living anywhere who's interested in making an appearance on our show can reach me in a DM on Facebook or Instagram at Christopher Bulick. See the Patreon link in the description if you'd like to make a campaign contribution to facilitate my meteoric rise. And I got a soundbite for that.
There it is! It's beautiful! Take your hat off, boy, that's a dollar bill!
In all seriousness, times are tough. Any proceeds that we receive will be going towards avoiding eviction, keeping the lights on, medicating my cat Clark with all of his health concerns, and feeding our gracious guests, buying the software to do this kind of thing. It's expensive, and I still haven't become profitable yet. So give me money, y'all. Once again, if you feel you've been given value by us, it takes a little extra effort to like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, so that way anytime we go live, you will be notified. This is your notification that the Good Faith Podcast is now available not only on YouTube, but Twitch, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Patreon, Amazon Music, Samsung Podcasts, Listen Notes, iHeartRadio, Pandora, and RSS.com. We'll keep pushing out these episodes so long as our following stays growing. And the path to notoriety will be for our listeners to spread the good word of the pod. If you have somebody in mind who would agree with our content, if they might be informed, if they want to ridicule us, send a link to your friends and family. All publicity is good publicity. Our objective is to have a balance between the red and the blue. So especially on a debate episode like tonight, we're really going to try and, argue the different topics that are going to be, brought to the forefront. If you have somebody in mind who enjoys listening to podcasts, please spread our channel. Now, the fragrance of the week is Versace Eros, named after the Greek god of love. It's got top notes of fresh mint leaves, Italian lemon zest, green apple, middle notes of an addictive blend of tonka beans, ambroxan, amber, and geranium flower, base notes of a powerful and viral foundation of cedarwood, vetiver, and oak moss with the warmth of vanilla and a hint of patchouli. The candle of the week, which I'm gonna start doing this, just like the Godfather Kevin Samuel, gonna start having a fragrance and a candle of the week. Oh my God, it smells so good. It's La-Di-Da soy wax candle coffee shop flavor. So it's gonna smell like coffee in this bitch, and it's gonna be amazing. Shirt of the week is Indigo Nation. Slacks of the week, Calvin Klein. Hat of the week, my Phillies hat, because the Phillies, I believe, are the number one seed in the National League, and Red October, baby. Tie of the week is Red George tie. Vest of the week, Pronto Uomo. And guys, my motto. I say, look good, smell good, play good, and you don't need to spend $1 million to look like $1 million. Now, before we get into this, I want to talk about a top dog in the wealth advisory space, Joe Ventura at Eden Advisory Services. Joe's been in the investment business for over 40 years. That's 4 decades of helping everyday people, whether it be teachers, entrepreneurs, retirees, build their path to financial independence. Whether you've got $5,000 or $5 million, Joe and his team treat every client like a millionaire. Eden Advisory Services is a registered investment advisor headquartered in New York, but they work with clients across the entire country. They clear all their investment transactions through Charles Schwab, a name that millions trust. From basic budgeting and credit repair to comprehensive wealth management and estate planning, even financial, legal, and insurance strategies, Eden Advisory Services is your one-stop financial partner. Joe Ventura is more than an advisor. He's your financial guy. Okay? Hundreds of people have come to know and trust Joe Ventura's advice with millions of dollars under management. So if you're ready to take the next step, whether it's fixing your credit, planning for retirement, or leaving something behind for your loved ones, start with good faith and let Eden Advisory Services guide the way. Visit EdenASC.com to schedule your free consultation. Eden Advisory Services, LLC is a registered investment advisor in the state of New York. Registration does not imply a certain level of skill or training. Advisory services are only offered to clients or prospective clients where Eden Advisory Services, LLC and its representatives are properly licensed or exempt from licensure. All investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. The advertisement is for informational purposes only and does not constitute a recommendation or offer to buy or sell any securities. Would you like to continue on your financial path in good faith? Then contact Joe Ventura and Eden Advisory Services. Investing in people, not just portfolios.
You're definitely quieter than the folks with headsets on.
I'm definitely quieter than the folks with headsets. Okay. Well, let me see if I could turn this up a little bit and turn this up a little bit. Do the folks hear like this?
How dare you?
Is that coming in loud and clear? Am I coming in loud and clear? I could jack my shit up if they think that will.
Yeah, I just heard the one you played.
Yeah. All right, let me turn my shit up, guys. Feel free to chat in on the chat, and I can if you chat in on the chat, it'll appear on the screen, and I'll be able to like. Chat in on the chat, it'll appear. Oh. All right. That sounded pretty. It sounds loud to me. So.
All right. Yeah, I think we're good.
Okay, cool. All right. So the second topic, and now it is Team Blue who gets to choose.
Austin McHale said, "Loud and clear."
Loud and clear. Cool. Yo, what's up, Austin? Thank you for. Thank you.
Godflow 2000 said, "What's up, y'all?"
That's Aaron Godflow. What's up, Aaron? What's up, Austin? Hey, if you guys haven't already done so, please like the video, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and welcome to the Good Faith Podcast. It's great to have you. All right, the second topic is, man, we're getting heavy with this shit right off the bat. The second topic is that the universe could not possibly be so orderly without a creative intelligence, without like an intelligent creator or a god, you could call it. So, blue team, which side do you want to argue?
I would say concur.
You concur. All right. So, do you agree, Brandon? You want to advocate for God?
No, I actually concur with that as well.
Yeah, okay. All right, then I will start the timer, and you guys can make your opening argument as to the proof that there is a God.
Okay. You want to go first, Sean, or go first?
You can go first this time.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about things that like there is a God that in general, and just come from me, like, just because I'm very religious in that itself. Yeah, I mean, I would say because in reality, we've all been through like a shitty situation in life and things like that. And I don't know if you guys have, but there's some people out there that turn to scripture, read like New Testaments and things of that matter. Like I have, and it'll be to where I'll be like in the ruts, and then I know where certain opportunities pop up that I've dreamed about, prayed about, things like that, and it'll just be like a tipping point to where things you pray for and things you've read about in scriptures, they start turning to life, and then with that in general, you start seeing things that you don't need anymore, or it could be anything like. Around certain women you don't want to be anymore, certain guys that just you think are just trashy beyond belief now, like how if you like I say if you go out, you used to go out and just drink like a motherfucker and do blow with your boys in the bathroom, and then I know where now it's just like you know you start like I said turning to God, turning to believe, and really say, hey, I'm ready for a change. I need to convert away from this, and then you start throwing little feelings in you that like okay maybe I should start doing this, and then those same people will start turning their backs on you, and then from there you start realizing, okay, hey, this scripture actually made sense, and so now you start turning from that, start turning from like certain women that just once what was kind of turned you on before, and then like I said, in a certain transformation of yourself, you start thinking that you don't need those things anymore in life. And then so how you start converting to certain pieces of righteousness and how his scriptures can actually take you beyond more than just believe it. Now you live it. And so even like that's like me right now. I read scripture every morning and night before I go to bed. Just on certain things that improved my life, made me a better person, made me take self accountability in terms of leadership and things like that. So yeah, I heavily believe that there is definitely God out there.
All right. Do you want to leave 20 seconds on the clock, or do you want to wrap it up with any statement?
I would say just you people that are like non-believers out there that are not atheists, but actually are considering it. I would say, dude, start reading scriptures, and like you'll start seeing certain changes in your life.
All right.
A.O. Brooksmith said, cheap viewers on streamboot.com.
Shut the fuck up.
At D0 Juans.
All right. And Sean, it is now your turn. You got 3 minutes starting whenever you start.
Cool. So I think Brandon covered the biblical perspective of it pretty well. So I'm going to go the other direction and talk about just the sheer scientific nature of the predominant likelihood that there is an intelligence behind everything, which doesn't happen at random. Like, for example, if the moon was any closer or further, the tides here would be a shit show and the planet would be uninhabitable. Mm-hmm. You look at the molecular structure of anything on an atomic level, it's designed with such precision such that life is held together. So you can't make the blanket assumption that shit just happened on its own. The feeling is that there is an intelligent designer that has basically put everything together, and I'm just talking on Earth. Fuck knows what's beyond Earth. We haven't gotten there yet. We're waiting for Elon to colonize Mars, but I suspect we'll find something similar there, and in every other planet of the solar system, and then in every solar system within the universe as we move out past the galaxy. So I think it's just stupid and a naive assessment to say or suggest that there isn't a God figure that has put all this shit together. I mean, that's my take on it. So
yeah.
I welcome rebuttals and debate on the topic.
And to agree with you, could it be some sheer coincidence, like some perfect coincidence? I suppose it could be, but it is very perfectly coincidental that everything from the smallest subatomic particle all the way up to the largest celestial body, they all move with the same exact physics as each other. So it seems intelligently organized.
Right.
All right, I will turn it over to Team Red. You guys, would you like to rebut? I know this is difficult, especially if you are a believer, but I'll give you an underdog point.
Okay. Yeah, I could take it. Yeah, so I would also agree.
Godflow 2000.
Oh wait, one sec.
Interesting debate. Wish I could stay. Peace.
See, Aaron. All right, go. Sorry, I paused it for you.
All good. So yeah, I would like to actually piggyback off what Sean said. A lot of it is I agree with him in the scientific perspective, and that was going to be my argument if I was for. But in fact, that argument can also be used against. So I'll give you an example. Something like mathematics, something like pi, golden ratio, all these random numbers, random things, kind of come out of nowhere. Now, seemingly, we could sit here and argue, okay, was mathematics discovery or it wasn't an invention by people? And I would argue that it's an invention by people to talk about the universe in whatever way they can. But when you use those mathematics on the world, it kind of doesn't make sense, and then it does, and then we're saying it doesn't. We're saying it does make complete sense, and everything's in unity and stuff like that. But we've been here, scientists say, for billions of years. So who's to say that after a long randomness, there is calm after that? Again, I still believe in a God, but I would say that, as some of my friends used to talk about, maybe it's an equation. Maybe it is something forced upon us by the very nature of the universe itself that could be considered God, but to us maybe just some force or form of something else, of which we could probably call God, right? So don't really have anything super against the scientific perspective from that, other than we also see randomness, and we also see a ton of stuff that we can't really explain why it's like that, other than it just over billions and billions of years it's become this thing. So I would argue just that yes, there probably is a God, but I do not believe that there is a God in the sense that we believe that there is a figure formed from us humans. It might be something a little bit different than what we're thinking there. So
Okay. And I'll pause your timer. You got 30 seconds left if you choose to use them. But do you with this argument that you are posing, do you believe that man naturally, randomly, chaotically just so happened to evolve, evolve so much so that we're like building rocket ships, and the beasts, the slugs and the snails just didn't like evolve in such an intelligent way? Like how
we came from Mars? I don't know. I mean, we weren't around 10,000 years ago. How would we know?
Well, like, so like, how could you explain, in a short way, how could you explain man's dominion over the beasts?
I guess I would. So I thought you were going to say something else, but I mean, dominion over beasts. I mean, the beasts have had dominion over other beasts for, again, millions and millions of years. So I don't think there's anything new there. There was always a king of the jungle, I would assume, and we are that king of the jungle right now. So whether we came from another planet, we came from God, or whatever, we are who we are now. So there probably is a soul. Do you believe that? Just again, may not be the same soul that we think about in the scriptures and all that type of stuff. So
okay. And Aaron, would you like to provide a 3-minute argument?
Yes, thank you for the nuanced take there, Doug. And I think, setting the table for our side here, we have to argue from science. So going back to those good points Brandon brought up, science shows us the power of prayer is real. That's a real effect. Praying is helpful. And for sake of the role I'm playing here, the scriptures, these were written by men. They have ancient wisdom in them. There's nothing wrong with studying the Bible like my friend player Brandon does. Learning that ancient wisdom is going to be helpful. But over billions of years, it is conceivable to me that out of this randomness and chaos, Darwin, these things did evolve perfectly because it's not an efficient system.
Mm-hmm.
Evolution acts over millions of years. It takes lives of countless living animals or whatever that aren't fit. And we even talk about a bit in this program with men and stuff, but I do find it reasonable to believe that evolution did cause this, and that maybe there isn't something divine out there. It's a very human instinct to say, hey, what caused this? The ancients, it was easy for them to say, oh, it must be some divine presence that is causing all these things. That's what's causing the sun to rise. A problem I have is throughout human history, we had a basket of things that God causes. And slowly we realized, oh wait, no, we've taken that out of the basket of God, put that in the basket of science. So the sun rises because the earth is spinning. But once we've been able to describe reality better, our need for using God to describe things has diminished. And the final point I want to make is maybe those ancient alien guys were right. You know, maybe those were the gods that introduced humans. Maybe that's what caused the leap in intelligence of humans. Could have been Darwin, or maybe there was some sort of non-earthly meddling. And that would be my argument.
All right. Well, I think that was a good argument.
You don't know me. You're not God.
So, real quick, I am beholden to corporate sponsors, so let me sell out for money really quickly, and let me bring this script up. Oh, and that is your time. I want to praise and I want to praise everybody who's taken place. You guys have been very respectful and very articulate, so thank you for humoring me. This is this is an experiment all its own, doing this for the first time. So right now you guys are doing a great job. Keep it up. Let me pull this up. So, fellas, we're talking about God. Let's talk about being a god in the bedroom. All right, we all know that as men, it's our duty to perform, whether it's at the trading desk, on the gridiron, the hardwood court, or inside the illustrious bedroom. There's no description that does justice to the confidence boost you'll receive when you blow her back out in the bedroom. How are you going to do it? With a limp strand of rope? Do you want to be the safe option? Do you want her to settle down with you after she's had her fun in the big leagues? No, you don't. You want her to be praising your name like Jesus, Lord. So, what, you're gonna go to battle in the bedroom with groggy privates? The only blue pill that we endorse on the Good Faith podcast is it's Mr. Nasty Time blue pills. And yes, we're talking about those, those little blue pills that make you run, Forrest, run. Get the enthusiasm that Jenny has for that gang of Black Panthers and stockbrokers, not the tepid tolerance she has for Forrest. Forget about overpriced Hims, Romans, and Blue Chews. It's Mr. Nasty Time has the real deal at an amazing price that won't let you down and can't be beat. And I know what you're probably thinking. What if she cancels on me and I'm all bricked up in my briefs all night long? I've tried these. They're a lot more mellow than you'd expect. You can pop one over drinks. It's not going to give away your position. You're not going to have a throbbing rager all night long, or due to the quick acting effect, just right before magic time, pop one or two in and be fully equipped to perform. Just like all the expensive name brands, Mr. Nasty delivers his products in discreet packaging, but for a fraction of the outrageous cost that they do. Around here at the GFP, we're about leveling up, and why not level up your sex life and check out It's Mr. Nasty Time to get your mojo back. Scan the QR code on the screen or hit the link in the description and guarantee yourself unrivaled pleasure. When her dual mating strategy has her playing picky-choosy between the bad boy and the nice guy, you know exactly who to call. It's Mr. Nasty Time. All right, so it is now... who was that? That was just blue team that picked, right?
Yep.
So, do you guys want to offer any rebuts? You guys can have 2 minutes to rebut it if you so choose to, or we can move on to the next topic.
I'll chime in a little bit.
Okay.
So on top of what Aaron said, in terms of the argument that there's feasibility that aliens interjected in human evolution, which I think is entirely possible, but I don't think it's exclusive of the existence of a God, because who's to say that God's limited to Earth rather than the universe as a whole?
Mm-hmm.
Just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah. Yeah, we're talking about a creative intelligence, so yeah, those aliens would still exist in the realm of the material where, the creative intelligence would still govern the laws of physics for them as well.
Right. Just like ancient Greeks is right. Ancient Greeks used to think Apollo pulled the sun across the sky every day until there was science, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, the room for God kind of evaporates as we gain more intelligence. And who's to say that at some point we'll never be able to explain the existence or what started it all?
Yeah. All right, on to the next topic, and now this is Team Red. You guys get to choose your position. So, Team Red, the prompt for this topic is tax. And oh man, fucking this is right up.
Man, let's do it.
Taxation
is not theft. Let's go.
Taxation is theft, and the central banks employ socialism to keep us enslaved. So, Aaron and Doug, which position would you like? I feel like Aaron could probably go both ways with this.
Yeah,
that's right. You don't go both ways. Yeah. So, what did you say, Doug? What did you want to defend the empire here?
Yes, I agree.
All right,
yeah,
let's defend the empire.
Okay. All right.
I'm on it.
All right. Your time starts. Oh shit.
You want to go first, Aaron?
Yeah, your time is going.
This is your expertise.
Now, sure, I can understand why people will say taxation is theft or extortion because, somebody is coming in and taking my money that didn't belong to me and is using it for something else. And if they're using it for something they don't agree with, like a couple of earlier abortions, yeah, I can see that being an argument. But come on. This is how we've had to have civilization. If you want to not have civilization, you have to have taxes to have civilization. I mean, obviously, you have to do it well, but you have to have taxes to have civilization. It's been that way for 6,000 years. I don't see us having any sort of anarcho whatever working with that. And yeah, you might. Oh yeah, centralized banking bad, but it's our central bank. One of the reasons for the Revolutionary War was to escape Britain's central bank. We didn't want to be stuck with that anymore, and now we have our central bank. That maybe they were a little. Maybe Trump was on point. Maybe Jay was a little late raising rates. To stop the inflation. But once we saw inflation was raging, the central bank took the correct action. And now inflation is still here, but not as out of control as it was a couple of years ago. During the pandemic, the central bank took action and provided liquidity to businesses so people didn't go under. So, it's hard for me to argue this. I'm a Ron Paul guy, but those would be my arguments to defend these institutions.
Okay, and the second part of it, you have one more minute. Is socialism employed to enslave the taxpayer?
So we're getting down to the definitions of words. If the government ever does anything, it's socialism. Okay, if we're using that as the definition, sure, but we're not trying to control commerce. We still want, in general, humans interacting via mutually beneficial, consensual commerce. There just has to be some guardrails around it. Mm-hmm. I'm not advocating for single payer here. I'm not sorry to go off the reservation here, but the Democrats are nuts here. They want to shut the government down because they're not getting their single payer, or they're not getting enough, money spent on like healthcare stuff. I mean, that's socialism. Single payer, saying you can't be in business. Only the government can do that. That's socialism. So I kind of reject that argument that the central bank and taxes in and of themselves are socialism. The USA had those for a long time and was not socialist, in my opinion.
All right, and that is your time. Doug, would you like to add to that?
Yeah, I would completely agree with that. I mean, we've had it for a while. I think anyone who calls us a socialist country needs to go back and look at real socialism and communism. I think if you look at, areas around the world who aren't taxing their population, I think there's a pretty clear line in the sand where those people are located, and where how those non-state run land, I guess, are just all over the news now. And I think that's a big problem, not understanding the difference. I think when people say, and I think it's in the word socialism too, that we forget that it's about the social aspects of the government taxation that I think that Aaron and I both agree are where we're going too far with things. Welfare, social security. I forget what the one that you just said, Aaron, but I think that's where it goes too far a little bit. Abortion, stuff like that. These are all social aspects of our community that could easily be handled if someone like Aaron was in power and could really take a look at the numbers, right? But we didn't have socialism. When did Social Security come out? I mean, it didn't even come out for the past.
I think like the 40s, maybe.
Yeah, part of the Great New Deal.
Yeah.
Is that what it was? Yeah, and I mean, we were doing pretty well before that. I mean, I didn't see any reason, and now people basically rely on that to live. I mean, I don't think that's the right way of going about these social changes. Growing up, if you got to take care of your parents, I mean, I have friends in this chat right now who take care of their parents. I mean, it's pretty difficult on them, but that's basically what this life is about: taking care of family, taking care of your friends, family, and all that stuff. And we're overriding that with government, which is that's why we're becoming a socialist government, so to speak, because we're putting in all these, and again, I said at the beginning of the conversation, I would try to meet in the middle with the other side, because I know it's kind of hard to argue from the other position, but I think taxation is obviously necessary. We need a military. We need police officers. We need local government for the most part. But again, these things like procuring welfare for people who may or may not even exist anymore. I mean, it's just getting crazy out there with the amount of money being poured in to those social programs.
So that's your time. I'm going to ask you one question in conclusion. Do you think that social entitlement programs like breeds entitlement and like kind of gives birth to like a parasitic class of society?
You just said two words to basically describe the exact same question that you asked me. So yes, I would agree with that. You asked me about social entitlement and social parasitic, endeavor. So yes, I would. Those two words kind of go together with the last part of that sentence. So okay. Yeah, I would completely agree that it is parasitic and social parasitic. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And now Team Blue. Would you guys like to form an argument?
Definitely.
Absolutely.
All right, your timer's going, so someone go.
Okay, I'll go. If you're cool. So taxation theft, sort of. I feel like we broke away from reality once we got off the gold standard, because when we were on the gold standard, we were in a much better taxation situation. I think taxation is good as long as we're not the ones taxed. We tax the foreign countries that try to do business with us to get our shit and rape us in return. So no, we need to tariff the shit out of people, let them bear the burden of taxes. We need to get back on the gold standard, because that prevents fictitious money from existing, prevents the IMF from holding us by the balls and everybody else buying up all of our shit. Second part of the question is socialism slavery? Yes. When it's encapsulated in benefits for people that suck and don't want to contribute to society, it's absolutely enslaving to those that do want to contribute. You know, we work, we pay into taxes for people that suck at life and don't want to do shit. They want to sit there and collect and not contribute themselves. And absolutely that keeps not only us enslaved as the employed and who are paying into the shit, but it also keeps the recipients enslaved, because then their motivation to succeed is also completely eradicated. So it kind of creates a perpetuating circle of slavery where those on top, they're above all this bullshit, but everyone else, like the other 80%, just continue running the rat race in circles. Like we're all on a hamster wheel, just running in circles. So that's my 2.5 cents, thanks to inflation.
Money, please.
Oh, no, there's no money.
Oh, my dad, no problem.
All right, Brandon, would you like to add to that?
Absolutely. So let me just say first, the only reason why I'm against taxes is because, one, I'm in California. Just to put that out there. All right. You know, Newsom is repeatedly raping us, no lube over here. Not even a drop of lube. It's just raw. That's it. It's not even raw.
No. He's wearing a barbed condom.
Yeah, but I didn't think he was wearing a condom. It's just dry. That's it. It's just dry, and you hope your baby, you were just moist down there. That's it. That's the reason why I have a problem with it. Okay. And so, but not, I mean, I didn't think there was a big problem paying taxes before, just because, you know, like it's just something that we have to pay in this country. And my other thing is that, you know, for people that have such a problem paying taxes, but I'm like, but you have no problem with our fucking money going to illegal immigrants. And so that's where I'm still torn between. They're like, no fucking taxes, but you have no problem going to money going to illegal immigrants that just get delivered for free in this country. So I'm like, okay, all right, you guys gotta have a good day. So, but that's another thing I have. Now, to answer the part about being socially, yeah, I agree with Sean to where, like, before, get back to gold standard to where, yeah, like paying a fair amount of taxes was good, especially here in California. Like back then, paying taxes, that wasn't even thought about. Like that's something that we just had to do. But now, because of inflation and everything just going up, now people are complaining. Like a lot of the fucking wokest of people around here are complaining about paying taxes. Same time, they're raiding the fucking streets here in the Bay Area, but don't care about majority of our fucking tax money going to illegal immigrants. So it's just like the hypocrisy down here is fucking insane. So yeah. So if we get back to that golden standard, like Sean said about socialism, that's no problem. And for God's sake, it's just the fact of like, is taxation fucking murder? In California, yes. Other places like Vegas and Texas, no. They are living the fuck up over there. It's like, damn, here at the bar, because we're getting illegally raped with taxes. We can afford a fucking beer in the bar. Like, that's how bad it is here. So, yeah, that is definitely just my take on it. Like, yeah, but other than that, no. It's our duty to pay taxes.
What,
on that part.
And yeah, your time's basically up. But what's a gallon of gas where you live? Because I stopped by the gas station today, and it's $3 a gallon here.
Oh, you are. Oh, good Lord, you're rich over there. So I'll say that.
PA is killing it, dude.
You can afford enough to throw some money in the strip club and go get a gallon of gas after. If that's the case. But no, okay. So here in Central Valley, where I'm at, I used to live in the Bay Area, but now I'm in Central Valley. Over here, it's like around 350. When I got here, it was 350 4 years ago, but now it's creeping up to the fours. In San Jose, Sunnyvale area, it's down there like $5.50, around like $5 a gallon. That's just for regular gas.
That's not crazy, because I visited my mom like a year ago in San Diego, and I think I might have saw like 6 or 7 down there.
Yeah, it was probably more back then.
Yeah. I have noticed, because we were up to like about like 330, maybe 340, and I noticed it started coming down today. So
yeah, the way it looks in California, they're saying it could potentially go to $8 a gallon just because of the route we're going. And if it goes that route, like people will be taking BARTs and VTAs all over the fucking place. Just for the sake of $8 a gallon, I'm like, motherfucker, I don't care if it takes 2 days to walk to the Bay Area, I'll do it. I don't care. At this point, I'm gonna just go buy 5-6 pairs of fucking New Balance and just go get the walking. At this point.
Yeah, in LA, depending on the flavor of gas you get, it could be anywhere from $4.50 to $6.
Okay. All right.
I mean, yeah, that's with a combination of Biden inflation and Newsom raping people too. So
yeah.
With Newsom and his fucking barbed pecker.
Yeah, all the tax money went to his fucking hair gel. That's all.
So
all the tax money went to his hair gel.
Don't get me started on the wildfire. 50 million that went to his nonprofit. Fucking shitbag.
Oh yeah. I can go forever. And part of that money is going to his wife. Part of that money is definitely going to his wife for the nonprofit. And especially with even Karen Bitch. I mean Karen Bass. She's getting a good amount of that fucking money from there too. I mean, but that's another topic.
Yes.
Goddamn Carol Baskins.
I think we could go on and on about this topic, to be honest.
Yeah.
So Team Red, do you guys have a 2-minute rebuttal that you care to make, or no? That's you guys.
Okay, I'm going. So, first off, Newsom is at least intelligent to take the vacuum in the Democratic Party and try to, hey, may as well position myself as the, nominee for 28. I'll give him that, but other than that, Newsom. And Brandon has good points. There is such a thing as bad taxes and poorly managed government. I mean, good on the state taxation there, because Nevada and Texas have no personal income taxes. The business tax in Texas is very reasonable and easy to deal with. That's why so many people are flocking there. But Sean, we're not allowed to talk about like IMF gold standard stuff like that. We can't go back to 1913. We need to have this Federal Reserve here because that really helps rich people that take out loans. It helps the rich keep getting richer. So they don't want to go back to the gold, because there wasn't. It's going to be really hard for me to argue against the gold standard because there wasn't inflation before 1913. It wasn't a thing. And then once one of my favorite websites, WTF, happened in 1971. It just shows inflation, all these terrible things in society taking off. I believe that corresponds to when Nixon took us off the gold standard for real.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, how do we? But at this point, I think ending the Fed, there needs to be some sort of exit strategy. And let's get to a interesting lesson. So before, right, in 1913, right, $20 was what you could go to exchange to the bank for an ounce of gold. Now, to find out the definition of dollar, you have to read the financial statements of the Federal Reserve, and it says every dollar in circulation represents a claim on the assets of the Federal Reserve. But what are the assets of the Federal Reserve? Mostly treasuries. So it's a giant circular process going. So if people say money is debt, they're quite literally correct. So Professor Faith,
and that is your time. Doug, would you like 2 minutes as well?
And not 2 minutes, but I would just say, yeah, I think a lot about this gold standard stuff just from the other side. Now we're talking about cryptocurrency, because that's a new thing, right? And the finiteness of the currency. And I've talked a lot about this with friends and family, and just, I feel like it'll be hard to go back to the gold standard. Whenever. It wouldn't be a good thing. And not that it wouldn't be a good thing, but it would take a lot to go back there. And I'm hoping that there's some sort of pseudo blockchain based, work based grounding to our current currency at some point. I'm thinking that's more closer to what we're going to see, as opposed to going back to the gold standard, where we have just gold sitting in somewhere that's, this is counting for this much cash. You really can't see all that. Whereas on blockchain, you can pretty much see all that. Wherever you are in the world, you can see where that money's being transferred to, where it's being transferred from. So all I would say is that, yeah, that's my only thing with the gold standard, is that, yes, it was good for the time being when we had people trading gold, trading in precious metals, stuff like that. But I feel like at this point, my friend just said money equals money squared. So pretty much infinite money. That's my only say there.
All right. So on to our next issue, which now it is Team Blue gets to pick. All right, Team Blue. Patriarchy is a blessing, and men are best equipped to lead women and children. Do you guys want to concur, or do you guys want to defy?
I fucking agree. This is my specialty.
Get the heart book.
Yes.
All right, so Brandon, you seem to have a pretty lively opinion, so I'll let you start it off.
Sure. You don't mind everyone getting canceled? Sure. So, in my thing is that, so, in my opinion, when you bring up the whole patriarchy matter and how women want to be in the forefront and put the LGBTQ second and then the men third, same time, like we've seen it before from when, women try to be the forefront, they try to be the female Avengers, and then Thanos, which is, like the wall, knocks him down. And so the thing is that this is where men in general are more strong to lead. It's like, if you go back to like the even before the 70s, like way before that, like the women actually let the men lead. And we've seen these old videos pop up from back then. Men talking, I'm the boss, the women agree, and the men are supposed to be, the leader of the children. And why? Because also the children see that, and then they say, if you have a son, then the son picks up those traits to where, okay, this is what I do when I have a family. I carry, my wife and my children on. And then also, the women, just like I said, they walk around in confidence knowing that their man leads, their man does everything around the house, or just in life. And so plus, it makes the man feel more fucking masculine. If you look at the world now to where the world and society in general tries to demasculinize men. I mean, for God's sakes, Bad Boys got picked for the Super Bowl. Okay, yeah, that shows how demasculinized they try to make men. And fuck, you to go off topic, like look at men's mental health. They don't give a fuck about that. The reason why a lot of men can't be masculine now, because the women believe that there's such a patriarchy. Well, it's like, okay, my rebuttal is that, especially bitch, okay, you go do the plumbing, okay, you go work in the oil fields, okay. All right. Oh, hey, matter of fact, bitch, you go, hey, you go do the construction. All right. Okay. Matter of fact, bitch. Okay, you go build a phone. Okay. Matter of fact, okay. Let me know when Steve Jobs hires you to go build a phone, and then let's see if that phone works or takes accountability. Okay, if that's the case, you know. And so this is where the men, like I said, I want the men to just be like, okay, it's okay to be men. Okay, it's okay to go lead. This patriarchy, you know, is just another example of, like I said, to make sure the man's dick don't work. Make sure your testosterone's low, okay? All right, this patriarchy is to where, okay, man, hey, it's okay to be feminine. It's okay to be weak. It's okay to not be masculine. All right? Hey, man, it's okay to grow titties. No, it's fucking not. Like, God.
And,
no. Like,
and that is your time, but...
Thank you for stopping me. I was about to go off. Yeah. I was off on a tangent. I was off on a rant. Sorry.
You're good. You're good. Sean, would you like to add to that?
Sure. So yeah, I agree 100%. Patriarchy is not bad. I think it's a prerequisite for a successful civilization to exist. Sure, go back to the 50s, you know, when people were, what I'm going to say, and I don't give a fuck what people think about it, it's normal. Like that shit just was not okay, you know? And guess what? Our society was in a much better shape than it is now. So I think that all of the demasculinizing is what has really led to the shit show that we're existing in these days. And it's, you know, all the boss bitch mentality where, oh, I'm an independent woman, I can do everything that I want to do without no man, until you need to fucking change the light bulb, right? Like, you know, men are genetically wired to be the leader, whereas women are genetically wired to be more of the support, emotional, and, you know, stay at home. And that used to be okay. I don't know why that has shifted into being abnormal or toxic, as everyone likes to call it, because it's not toxic. I think toxic demasculinity is the problem that we're dealing with today. And that's just polluting the brains of everybody. You have kids in schools getting their minds warped by trans instructors who want to talk to them about, hey, take some scissors to yourself and see what happens. You'll be a happier person, for sure. Believe me. And all this kind of nonsense that has become normalized. So no, I think that toxic masculinity is a misnomer. It is toxic to be non-masculine. People have their places. You know, if women were leading, everything would go to shit because women, you know, no disrespect to women, but women operate from an emotional perspective on everything. If you had like Hillary Clinton running the White House and she was in a mood someday, you have her pushing a button and launching nukes and launching us into World War III. A male is going to do something with more stoicism and more of a fact-based opinion-making process.
Yeah, I think it could be, and I'll pause your timer. You still have 40 seconds if you choose to exercise them, but I think you could argue that the world has never been led as much by women as it is today, and you know, like there's a lot of issues that are going on. You know, like obesity is running rampant. You know, sex work is running rampant. There's, you know, like I don't know, 10 million American girls on OnlyFans. You know, there's you know, like single mother households have all of the worst like statistical outcomes that, you know, occur for the children. So you know, like there's conclusive evidence that, you know, women when they're leading a household, you know, don't get the same desired results.
If I could add to that really quick, Chris, you know what? Another thing is that it goes back to what Charlie Kirk said. The government is really taking the father out of the household, and now they're putting it's like now what they're putting out is that they're putting in society is that oh hey you can be the father and the mother. It's okay. You don't need a dad. You can take care of the child by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need that. And you're your own woman. It's okay to be a single mom doing OnlyFans and taking care of kids. And it's like, okay, yeah, good luck with that. It's like, good luck trying to make a career out of that. And when you fail, it's like Kevin Samuels said, Subway will be hiring.
No. Buy a dog and die alone.
Professional sandwich maker.
Mm-hmm. Top of top.
Right.
All right.
Artist, please.
So team Red, would you like to rebut?
Okay, I'll start here. So yeah, it's pretty ridiculous to say today that there's a patriarchy because yeah, no argument here. Women have more choice and access than ever in history. So I think the way I'm going to try to argue this is, I think back in the day there absolutely was a traditional patriarchy, right? Violent men who were able to conquer created their kingdoms and were able to create their patriarchy, have their harems for themselves, have their generals get set up with wealth, resources, their pick of the women, and that's how they structured society. Genghis Khan or the royal families in Europe, their ancient bloodlines that committed great violence to achieve their kingdoms. So to have an open society today, we have to have it where the government treats women as equals. They have to have choices too in their life. And, good points. I've interacted with a lot of women in the corporate world, and, a lot of women, maybe they would be better off just being a homemaker, because it just seems to work for a lot of them is very stressful. Now, don't get me wrong. One of your previous guests, Michael Sartain, talks about a couple of women in the Air Force that were super great leaders. I've seen that too. So I think we make good reforms, giving equal rights and all that to women. But I think it is conceivable to make an argument that there was a patriarchy in the past. But today, no way.
All right. And Doug, would you like to add to that?
Yeah, sure. I'd actually like to go back to the original prompt as well. As the patriarchy is a blessing, and men are best equipped to lead women and children. I would actually disagree with part of this. And I think that women are actually best fit as long as they're in a marriage that is healthy, or any type of man-woman relationship where there are children involved. I think it goes, the man leads the family, which includes the woman and the children, but the women lead the children, right? Because I think we all know how good women are with children. But I think you also need that male figure there as well. I mean, it's just pretty much set in stone. I mean, you don't want your kids growing up without a true father, or even a father figure, in the case of stepdads. I was almost a stepdad at one point, believe it or not, at my age. And yeah, that was, it could have worked, but I feel like women today are just so, oh, well, I don't need a man, but can you go do this for me? Mm-hmm. Right? So it's like, okay, you don't need a man, but yet you if I don't want to do it, you'll go call somebody else who is a man. So it's like, it's more like, okay, just kind of go with your children, I'll deal with the rest type of thing. So I think also if they want to be equal, I think what Pete Hegseth said during the during his speech was actually really good. I talked to a few of my military friends, and they all had their little qualms about it. But one of my good friends said, he said, I don't like how they're changing the male standards or changing everything to male standards. I think they should lessen them again for women. And I said to him, do you think I could beat up any one of those women who could not meet that standard? If I met that standard and I'm a male, do you think that I could, and no answer from him? Because I know he's got friends in there. He went to West Point. So, he's pretty, he's been involved with the military. His whole family has been involved with the military for a very long time. And I think that there are obvious differences between male and female. So I think that best in the ways of taking the patriarchy, leading the rest of the family, but letting the women lead the children, and that's probably the best outcome that we could perceive.
All right. And Team Blue, would you guys like to make any rebuttals?
Sure. So what Hegg said is 1,000% spot on, because if you're in a combat situation, I was in the Air Force myself. So if you are in a combat situation or scenario and you've got chicks that have a lower standard by which to stay in the military, the enemy's not going to give them female mode, right? We're all going to be dodging the same bullets, dealing with the same combatants, feasibly hand to hand. They're not going to reserve their women combatants to deal with our women combatants. So, yeah, I want the people on my left and right to be just as qualified or physically fit as I am and able to lift the same shit, being my body, potentially. And if it's a girl, I would question that capability. So I think that, yeah, he's 1,000% right in making the standard the standard, not the male standard versus the female standard. So, I mean, I think that's probably my soapbox right there. Because, it's a combat situation. You think China is caring about your feelings and this other bullshit when you're getting trained? Hell no. They're laughing at us when they hear that we're entertaining this foolishness where you can get gender reassignment surgery on the government's time because you're in the military. Unacceptable. One standard is what it should be.
Yeah.
I did tell Chris in one of his old podcasts that they could get all the trans people together in their own platoon, and they can maybe create something a little bit effective, maybe. But
like the new janitorial crew, that's fine.
Or like some sort of weird, obscure, special forces where they go over, take over the government, try to become girls, and fake out the other government. But
that would work, actually.
Right. I did also want to say, because I did do a little bit of research on that subject, because I did watch Pete's whole speech. I watched Trump's speech, I watched the whole thing. And I do have, again, I have family, friends. I myself, too, was in ROTC for a little bit. But, I did realize, not one woman has been deployed ever in the entire military. In the entire U.S. military. Now, that's not to say probably, in the 1800s they had women going out in the fight. I'm not really sure.
That's probably less likely.
Yeah. So, but even to that point, if we're not sending them to war, then what's the even point of having the standards lowered here for what?
Are you
secretary jobs? Maybe, I don't know.
Are you saying not one woman has ever been conscripted to fight, or not one woman has ever been deployed?
Deployed into, I don't know.
Into battle? Is that?
Yeah, like deployed overseas.
Is that really true?
I don't know if that's true.
Let me see.
It seems hard to believe, even for the most,
because every time I see videos, in Afghanistan or anything like that, I never see a woman. So, and then I asked, I was having a conversation with my friend, and I looked it up, and
yeah. Brandon, would you like 2 minutes to chime in, or do you think?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I can go chime a bit.
Okay.
I think just because Like back then, if you remember, the women and men like knew their place in life in general. And for example, the woman knew to never to really step over the man. She did her, her feminine female duties at home. While the man is going to work. She's there taking care of the child, going to get groceries at home, at the store, running her errands and whatnot, and then making sure everything's prepared for when the man gets home. And then it's like the woman knew her tendencies, and the man knew his tendencies. Now it's like all upside down. Even today, I don't know if you guys heard. It's funny because I think you guys mentioned about giving money to institutions and things like that. I don't know if you guys heard the news about Harvard today. They had a drag show professor come in today. I don't know if you guys heard about that.
I did not hear about this.
Yeah, no. The person's name is I gave him right now. Yeah, they had a professor come in today to teach about the gender equalities of men and women. Shit, you can look it up.
So speaking of Harvard and how like fucking bastardized our Ivy League education system has become, I have it saved somewhere here, but Harvard is oh man,
I just want to say I did misspeak on that. So yes, there have been plenty of women being deployed, but that makes Sean's point. So I kind of just screwed myself.
It's okay. Thank you for taking accountability on your mistake and correcting it. So
I don't know. Don't just Google.
So speaking of the bastardization of the Ivy League education, this upcoming year, Harvard is going to offer English 183 TS, which is Taylor Swift and her world. And I can't even imagine what it would cost to take a semester of Taylor Swift studies, but like it's instructed, of course, by a woman, Stephanie Burt, and it's all about obviously they mentioned queer subtext, which I don't know how that has anything to do with Taylor Swift. She's like a staunch heterosexual, but
sounds like a bitch with the portrait cast. Definitely. But yeah,
buy a dog and die alone.
With Harvard today, while I was talking about the trans person, like you won't believe what that person's name is on there. That person, the trans or the conscious name that came over there, her name is legit Lahore Vagistan. I'm not lying. It came out today, but it goes back to what I was saying to where like because of the society. A lot of men don't know how to be men. The women are trying to be men. And now it's to where, like, birth rates are all-time low as of recently. The number of marriages are at an all-time low, because women are so focused on being the corporate woman and trying to be the man in so many instances. However, for when they meet a man and the man sits them down, and then they want to go back to being feminine and whatnot. Like, it goes back to where they say that the women say they are the prize. Like, well, you can't in reality be the prize because the man is supposed to be the provider. He's supposed to be the one making money, have success, have the status. And have everything that, as far as a woman's standpoint, everything that they want. So how is she the prize to catch when the man needs to accomplish so much more in life? And so it's just because of the whole topsy-turvy that we are in. And they said now they're taking men out of being professors. Now we have trans women or trans people being professors. Quick example, I live near San Francisco, California. That should be enough on the topsy-turvy shit that goes on. Like, if you go look up the Folsom Street Fair, there's no masculine men. They have men in fucking chains and shackles being walked by women. I'm not lying to you. I'm not fucking lying. But
I think I think you bring up a good point. I mean, it seems like we're all trying to de-escalate the testosterone of the patriarchy, right? But nobody ever talks about, like, we always hear this question, what is a woman, right? But nobody's really detailed, okay, it's these feminine features, all this stuff, but nobody really herbs on the social aspects of it. Okay, what does it mean to take care of children? What does it mean to, like, take care of your house, to clean, to actually be that beacon at home, for men and even for family? I mean, we could even go into the other prompt about homosexual family structures, but yeah, I just think that there's not enough of us men who are appreciating these homebodies and these women who actually are more powerful than you think. And to have, like, heads of state, chancellors in the UK crying about, no, or, some war's about to happen, stuff like that. I mean, we just can't have that anymore. I mean, it's really, I think we're all feeling it. I think every one of us is feeling that type of, oh my God, what's happening?
So I heard, I'm not an expert in, like, geopolitical climate and shit like that, but I heard over in London, there was the like,
Nancy
I guess,
Mace.
yeah, like, what is she, the Secretary of Treasury?
She's
or
the Chancellor of
Coin or something,
UK.
Master of Coin. She she was having, like, a bad day. She was, like, beefing with her coworkers, and so she started crying, and then the bond market took a dive because of that. So, like,
Rachel Reeves, her name was. Yeah.
there are real world ramifications for
Emotional bullshit.
Yeah.
With the way they call it, emotional damage.
Emotional damage.
Yeah, that's what they call it, emotional damage. It's like, for God's sake, it's gonna, like, watching 10 years. It's gonna be, if a girl cries, then the man's going to jail. What? I didn't even handle the bitch. I didn't do anything. I said, fuck you. She cried. Now I'm going to jail. But it's just all kinds of topsy-turvy to where I said now, and you can look at it, the shit that we have out here. For example, OnlyFans. That's a huge reason why these men don't want to go out and be there or even go talk to a woman outside. Like, well, and now for these young kids, like, why do that from when I could just go watch Sophie Rain on OnlyFans? Better yet, why you go talk to a fucking bitch when I have AI here that I can be disguised as a woman to talk to me in a way I want a woman to talk to me? Just because of the real scary women outside that don't think I'm okay or think I'm a creep. Instead of improving myself, when I go talk to this AI person that thinks I'm fucking perfect.
Or just sent.
Yeah, exactly. And then go buy every person's OnlyFans in the world, or just go have a whack nation in my room. Let me go drain my fucking self in the room for a few hours, and I think that'll make myself feel better.
That sounds.
The sex robots.
That sounds like
Yeah, AI pussy.
Yeah.
All right, so. I mean, I could talk. We all know that I could talk about sex bots until the cows come home. Real quickly, I'm gonna run my last advertisement. So, guys, speaking of pulling your pork, speaking of beating your beef, let's talk about. Speaking of jerking your beef, let's talk about beef jerky. So, guys and gals, I don't think it's any mystery. I take my physique very seriously. I'm buckling down. I'm taking it more seriously than ever. I cut out soda. I'm getting into meal prepping, like boiled chicken and rice. Like, I'm not eating breaded chicken anymore. Working on muscles in my body I never prioritized before. I'm targeting symmetry. Every time I do a pushing motion, I got to do a pull motion. I used to just eat whatever I craved and try to outwork a poor diet, and it was all to no avail. There are still times when I need to force myself to eat, but I need no coercion to munch on Holler Boys. You can't just stuff empty calories down your big fat fucking gullet. So here's the remedy. It's Holler Boys. They pack 10 grams of lean protein into a fantastic package, and the flavors are to die for. Peach bourbon, honey habanero, southern barbecue, Chesapeake Fuego, or the tried and true original. My personal favorite is the peach habanero. What's even better about Holler Boys is they're nice and local in tax-friendly Middletown, Delaware. They're founded by a father-son duo. They just started tinkering with their backyard smoker and through trial and failure have come to present some of the boldest and most memorable flavors. They're headed by a patriarch of the house, just saying. Forget Slim Jims, Jacklings, Deets Nuts. Holler Boys Snacks packs a great nutritional value in a filling serving size for an affordable price to stretch your dollar with flavor for days that'll make you holler. Their mission statement rings true to the Good Faith podcast that life may throw you around, but you can never give up. How true. Scan the QR code on the screen or find their link in the description and tap into the best beef jerky on the market. Holler Boys Jerky. That's holler with an A. Holler Boys Jerky. The only good jerk. All right. So, we are back. Who just chose that one? That was blue team just chose, right? All right. So, red team. I'm going to skip around to save some time. Actually, all right, let's go with this one. Red team, the prompt is that women who have a lot of sexual experience are of low value. Do you guys want to concur or deny? Uh-oh. Did I lose?
Yeah, Doug, can we hear you?
There we go. Yeah, Doug was muted for a second. I can hear you, Aaron, though. Do you want to take it or do you want to go against it?
Let Brandon cook on stuff. It's always a good idea. What do you say, Doug?
He's agreeing with you, but
So I'll somehow defend it doesn't lower their value.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Your time starts now.
So it has been pointed out that as men date more, they become more calibrated, and women date more, they get more bitter. And it has been, and this is something in my own life. I was divorced because I got married to a lady with a master's degree, and now I know the statistics on that. I walked into a statistical trap. But that had nothing to do with the number of sexual partners she had.
Mm-hmm.
I think, we've seen women go through their hoe phase and some of them be able to settle down. Some aren't able to as much. I definitely think guys prefer women with low body counts, but nowadays, who knows? We have these, if guys are going to get cucked in San Francisco, get walked by these ladies, maybe it does increase their value, right? It turns them into dog walkers. So, that would be my argument.
Haram!
All right, Doug, would you like to add to that?
I'll add a little equalization there. So sorry, I lost I don't know. I just put my headphones down and they immediately stopped working. I don't know why. But I did have this point when doing both sides for this, and I going back into religion now that I'm more into religion than I ever have been. I do see the other side, but I would say that from all my sexual experiences and from all the women that I've had, I do feel like there is some sort of if you don't know what it's like being with that person, it's kind of hard to know what they're going to be like for almost the rest of your life, right? So if you're just waiting for marriage, and I get that's a religious thing. For me, because I've had premarital sex, so I do find it a little bit hard to think what the future would entail if they didn't have sex at all, right? Like us guys who have had a decent amount, you know, it's probably hard to predict what the future will behold for you. So that's all I will say on that. Is just, but I would agree that, you know, if there's too much experience, it's probably not going to be good either, right? So I think there's a balance, and I think that when it comes to, and who knows? I mean, maybe I'll find a girl who's only had a few experiences, and which I've had, but you know, nothing very special here. So that's all I'll say.
So so you're of the opinion that you would rather a girl have a Goldilocks number of partners?
So, okay, no, let me rephrase that. I wouldn't feel comfortable marrying a girl who I never had sex with.
Okay.
So to have one body count or to have some sort of experience in some sort of way, I would feel, you know, if that's not important to them, even though it's sort of important for me, I would feel a little bit, just maybe probably, a little bit of discomfort, whereas on the other side, it's like, you know, of course there's a lot of discomfort there. But I will say that there's probably a little bit of discomfort going the other way. Having no body count, having no experience, not really knowing what that's going to be like. So, yeah.
Okay. And Team Blue, would you guys like to start your argument?
John, you want to go? I'll cook last.
Okay. So, the prompt being, does a high body count lower a female's intrinsic value?
Mm-hmm.
I would say yes. And I'm just going to rest my laurels on the pair bonding aspect. That once a female has had many partners, you know, they all kind of blend in and become the same. So I'll liken it to the notion that you always remember the first girl that popped your cherry, right? I feel like that's true for me. I remember her. And I think for a female, it's even more so the case. And I think that the further away you get from that first person, the less of an impact it has on her psyche and memory and just overall emotional ability to pair with that person and create that actual bond, because it now becomes more of a job that they've done. And, you know, like the more often you wear a glove, the more loose it gets. So, I mean, yeah, sure, there's the physical aspect too, but we're talking about women, so we have to talk about the emotional aspect. And, you know, the more that they do it, the more like a dude they become, and they're able to disassociate more and just disassociate the emotion with sex. And that's a bad thing on a women's from the women's side. For our side, it's conversely true. Whereas the more experience we get, the more that we have to offer in the bedroom, the more we're able to create that impression and just, you know, wow her. Because like a virgin guy is super timid and going to come in a second and not necessarily be the best for her. So, yeah, I think that's my perspective on it. That, yeah, definitely. The higher the body count, the less value she's got. You know, you out with a chick that's got 100 dudes in her panties, like, how are you any different from that other 100 guys?
Mm-hmm. Are you familiar with the, I don't know what it's called, but like they actually say that women who have unprotected sex with men and like they like, you know, shoot their load, they actually store like DNA of every man that they've ever taken, and they've actually found like similar DNA in their offspring, even if it's with a completely different man.
I have heard that.
That's like a big time yikes. Like, you know, like fucking
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that, as well as just like the ejaculate inside of a female has an effect on her psychology as well as her biology, aside from the pregnancy stuff. But in terms of endorphin release and that part of that is what creates the pair bonding. But I mean, if their snatch is overloaded with various cum dumps, then, you know, it's hard to differentiate who has had that effect, right?
Fucking
Logical. It's slut, Bill.
so disgusting. Like, to consider that you might be, you know, walking around, maybe even proposing to and having a wife who's like a literal cum dumpster, you know. So
Literally, yeah.
yeah, like I and like I'm not the kind of guy that's like I talk to a lot of people on my podcast, and a lot of these like Gen Z and Gen Alpha guys, they're like, yeah, a woman better have like single digit notch count. I'm not quite so like rigid, but like, yeah, I definitely don't want her to have like a bunch of random semen in her, you know, in her loins.
In her psyche.
Yeah, yeah.
650 is too much.
Yeah. Body count shouldn't equal your credit score.
And Brandon, would you like to add?
All right, it's time for Chef to cook. So, the question is, if a girl is, so the question is, if a girl has high body count, is it wrong? Yes. Okay, and I will gladly tell you why. First of all, I don't want to know that the girl I'm dating fucked 3 of my friends in the club that goes to the club that I usually go to. I don't fucking want that. Especially if I walk in with the girl and then I shake my boy's hand and then he's just looking at her unsuspecting and then it's like, oh fuck, I dumped in her last week. Like, I don't want that from a girl that I'm fucking dating. Okay, I don't want the blowjob Betty in San Jose. I don't want that. Like, and then, you know, you have certain bitches out here talking about, oh, we fucked the condom. It doesn't count. No, bitch, he ran through you. He had his dick in you. Okay? He moaned while none in you. Yes, it does count. Like, I don't want that for a girl. Yes, yes, a girl can have a high, girl can have a really high body count for damn sure. If that's the case, if a body count doesn't fucking matter, Lily Phillips would be fucking married tomorrow. Like, no. Are you shitting me? And fucking Bonnie Blue would be the bridesmaid if that's the case. Like, no, it's just, no one wants that. And the thing is that, you know, think about it. If you come like the neighborhood whore and you guys eventually have a kid, those kids are gonna fucking potentially know from their parents. And it's just like, it's just too much of a risk, especially for us being their way when we're all focused on is status. If you're a high status man in your city and you have access to all of these women, why are you cuffing the girl that has been used and abused like a baseball glove? Like, it does not make sense. And then we guys are talking about, oh yeah, like, the girls, like I said, the girl that has been used as a fucking neighborhood cum dumpster, she's had surge of semen, the little piece of semen around her, or in her, and then that could potentially come out with the child. I don't want to know that my friend Antoine is also part owner of the child. Like, no, I don't want that shit. Are you shitting me? Hell no. Now, here's another thing. I'm not all the way to where, oh, you can find a girl with, you know, with like a single digit body count. It ain't 1800s anymore. Like, it's not even that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's fully understood in today's society that a lot of girls have double digits. Yes, triple digits. Damn near Bonnie Blue broke the record and made it 4. There's some girl that's gonna make it 5 digits one day. For all we fucking know. That girl makes it 5 digits, those guys will be coming in, jacked off, puts the load in, and they get out. And the guy, and they do a switch around with guys in about 0.3 seconds. There's some girls that break that record for all we fucking know in the future. But no, like, but they're just all sides serious. Yeah, there's gonna be girls with, you know, in the 10s, 20s, 30s. I myself am not going. Oh, my bad.
You're good. You're good. Just wrap it up. You're on a roll.
I was on a tangent, but yeah, no. Aside of that, like, no, I don't think that. Yes, I do think that. Yes, a bike is too much, and as men in a way, we should not be standing for that.
Yeah, like the symbolization of a bride on her wedding day is wearing a white dress to symbolize her purity, her virtue that she's been able to preserve for her whole life, and that you are receiving an especially virtuous and pure woman to consummate your union with, and like I said, like I would not feel super good about putting a $10,000 diamond on a girl who got a pearl necklace from Ray J and Tyrone and Sean and Jerome, and like everybody in the hood gave her like a facial. Like I'd like her to be somewhat virtuous.
Or she's got around multiple celebrities.
Yeah,
yeah.
We didn't even talk about like the alpha widow concept, but like like she's always judging her next man by her best man. You know what I mean? And if you don't live up to the standards of like the emotional appeal and the like excitement that her best man was able to like give to her, like she's gonna kick you to the curb real quick.
Mm-hmm. It's like dating a chick that I know where she has no standards. And it's like, bitch, you dated Future. How am I supposed to keep up with that? Like, are you shitting me?
Yeah.
It's like, wait, who you know Metro Boomin? Fuck, I have no chance.
If you're on Metro, don't trust you, I'm gonna shoot you.
Yeah, bro. It's just like, wait, who did you fuck before? You fuck Brian Pumper and you expect for me to fucking last in bed with you like that? You serious? Wait, you fuck Leslie Steele? Oh, yeah, no, I'm good. I'll be on the sideline.
It's like, what is he saying? What's the movie? Have you ever seen Neighbors with like Seth Rogen and
that movie.
He talks about like it's like when you give a turtleneck to a fat friend, and like it comes back, it like never fits the same. It's all like loosey goosey. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That coochie's been bruised up. I don't know what to tell you.
I did want to go back to the sperm thing because I don't know. Again, I'm just googling things.
Okay.
But I would wonder how that's even possible, right? Like if sperm can only survive so long, outside of a male, and can only survive so much longer in a woman, I would wonder how verifiable that. And so if you wanna, what article was it that you guys saw?
I couldn't even tell you. It's got some like scientific name. It's like some big word like chimichanga. So I literally I don't know.
Staying inside you somewhere.
It's not so much the sperm as the genetic code that comes inside of that binds. Not the sperm, because you're right. The sperm totally dies even inside the snatch. Because it is technically a hostile environment.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah,
sure, the sperm dies, but again, the genetic code that's buried inside the sperm will live on as it binds to her.
And let's just keep it real. If a girl has that much seed inside her and they keep dying, and she has that high body count,
I'm not.
You're just gonna refresh it.
It's gonna have a refresh.
Yeah. I also did kind of want to ask because it is kind of hard, right, for us in MOA because we are around both sides of this, right? We are told to meet these women and kind of go out there and be friends with them, right? So I think it kind of goes back to maybe not so much. They could be high status still, but we are looking at something sort of in between, I guess. High status maybe to us in that regard as a friend, but maybe not. High status as a partner.
That's why you qualify them. That's part of the qualification process.
Right.
You find out that she's been run through, then okay, you're going to be one of my chick allies.
Mm-hmm.
One of my teammates, not a lover or anything serious. Maybe you could own her for sure, but by no means would she be cuffable.
Right.
Huge example. Okay.
I was just going to say, so in our definition of high status, I guess we do have to define, I guess we are meaning the partner high status as opposed to the friendship high status.
Well, and also the prompt of the question is not necessarily speaking to status, but value. Like I think someone, and I think there are different kinds of value. Like there's spiritual value. You know, like I think we're all of value to God in the eyes of the Lord. But in terms of you know, the value that they offer as a long-term partner, I definitely think it is diminished. You know.
Right.
Absolutely. And for him, when you guys are talking about, you know, to see and how to test her, and here's a good example to see she's ran through. Look at her fucking IG highlights. She has places like Bali, Miami, Brazil.
I say girls who get flown out get blown out. Yeah.
Yeah, if those girls are in some magical city every other month, yeah, she's definitely getting around about 3 or 4 sugar days. Another one, if the bitch is at a casino and she's sitting at the casino slot, she didn't go there with her family. Like, sugar day took that picture and then went to go give the credit card right after.
Yeah.
But I'll say, Brandon, she's not out with all her friends going to all these locations, or she paid for them herself.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. No, she has friends. You know, Benjamin Franklin, Abraham Lincoln, George Washington. You know, American Express is her grandfather. So yeah, she has friends. She definitely has friends that, you know, fund her, that, you know, help her get funds during the trip. So she has friends.
But they're not showing up in these pictures of locations.
No. They're not showing up, but they are going into cash registers, slot machines, and checkbooks.
All right. Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I was going to add a little bit because I actually had this conversation today, and I hope he's listening. So I would even put that on to women who just take photos for attention online. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of this now. A lot of women, my ex, a lot of just older women posting photos of them and their friends out every day, all the time. I mean, that to in itself is kind of a red flag in my opinion.
It kind of lowers value, right? Because like in the eyes of it, and like we referee and officiate the dating market of the opposite sex, right? So like, you know, like men determine women's value, women determine men's value. And what is one of the most valuable things that men perceive is like a woman with a domestic like instinct, you know, specifically. I mean, it's been tossed around, almost overused, but like, how can she cook? Does she have a cookbook? Is she like a good cook? A woman who's going out to bars and restaurants, eating, you know, DoorDash and Uber Eats and going to like 5-star restaurants, having a chef cook her everything. She's gonna lose that skill to be like a, you know, culinarily gifted.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the optics of it, I mean, every friend that I have on Facebook or Instagram who's married now, their partners are not, you know, showing scantily clad photos of themselves, or even just posting about themselves at all.
Yeah.
And then when they have a kid, you know, it goes on further. It shows after that, right? Because they don't want to be that person after the fact. So if you have even someone who's just, you know, they're going out every weekend, they're taking videos and photos of themselves. You know, that's something to be said about like what you're gonna do after a kid, during your relationship, stuff like that. So I would just say that.
Yeah.
You're right, especially girls that continuously go out and then they get cuffed down, and then because they're so used to going out, you know, go out to clubs and bars, being at every guy's follow service table or in every other section in general, and then, you know, they get cuffed up, wife, and like children. That little piece of like going out is still inside, because think about it. They go on Instagram just scrolling, and then they look at other girls younger than them having a good time, while they look at the husband and they're like, fuck, I feel trapped. And what does that lead to? Potential divorce.
Mhm.
and then they go back out, try to go after the young guys. But by that time, the wall is undefeated, and so now they're in a shitty situation where they become the single mob, and that's what we talked about before. The boss babe mentality comes in, saying that, you know, you're right. I don't need a man. I don't need any of this. I'm Superwoman. Knowing that they really don't believe that shit. They're going back home. They just keep crying their eyes out. But then what happens? They're just cleaning that up with makeup and going right back out. It's just a whole rotation thing. That's it.
Yep.
All right. So, and whose turn is it now to pick? It's Team Blue. All right. I like this prompt, and this might be the last one. We'll see. Does anyone have plans or aspirations to go out tonight?
I do, but I could definitely, yeah. Sorry.
She'll be patient.
I might go out, but like I don't
We still
know.
got time. It's only 6 o'clock here.
Yeah, true.
It's 9 for us tonight. Just gonna close that.
Yeah.
All right, so Blue Team, your next prompt. This is a funny one, but I wholeheartedly believe this one, and you guys could choose whatever.
I think I know which one you're gonna pick.
You guys can choose whichever side you want. But the prompt is anal sex with any gender, with any person, is kind of gay.
I got to lead on this one.
All right. What are you gonna say? Are you gonna say yes or no?
But damn. So with any gender?
Yeah, butt sex is kind of gay. I don't care if it's with a woman. I don't care if it's with 2 dudes. Like, it's kind of gay.
I mean, for damn sure, yeah. Like, if we go any gender, yeah, I'm going against that.
You're going against it. Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
you're not tricking me, buddy.
All right. So I'll start your time. Make an argument for how butt sex is not gay.
How it's not gay?
Yeah. That's the side you're taking? Or
No. I
with a chick.
Oh,
Yeah, with a chick. Yeah.
Oh, with a girl, or you say any race?
It doesn't matter. Butt sex is
Any race.
gay. You
Shit, you got me.
Any race? White people? Is it gay? Black people? Is it gay?
Not like gender. I'm like, fuck. But, okay, so if we're talking straight fucking woman, no, it's not gay. I mean, to be honest, girls tend to like that shit, but they won't say it in front of their friends. But, yeah, a lot of them like that shit. I mean, if it's with a girl only, no. I mean, obviously ask for consent. Ask for consent out there. It's okay. Don't just SWAT team the back door. Okay. So yeah. I only,
Police, open up.
Not first. Yeah. Just see if anyone's home. Yeah. But
See if it's a full house first.
Make sure you got a warrant too. Yeah, I mean, like if you.
Full house, bro. But no, if it's with a girl, then no. Like, I don't think it's gay. I think it's natural. Guys clean your shit after, literally. Yeah, like, or rubber up. If the girl says stop. And but if the girl says keep going, you have a demon. You're fucking.
That's what I'm saying.
You are fucking Fiona Lucifer right there.
She's probably a little gay, yeah.
If she doesn't say a fucking word, then get out of the house. Get out of her apartment. Go home and think about who he has sex with. But yeah, I totally. If it's an actual woman, I don't think it's gay. Obviously, get that full-blown FBI check before you do it, and that's the best agent that's going to get you out of me. That's all that's going to get. That's it. I'm getting out of that fucking door.
All right, Sean, would you like to add to that?
Sure. I mean, I think he's 1,000% right. Also, you know, if you're fucking a chick in the ass, there's no balls, it's not gay, just by definition. And it's not homosexual. If there's balls, then you're in the wrong.
Okay, And I wonder if maybe I should add to this. I wonder if there might not be any disagreement, but is getting pegged gay 100% by if it's by a woman?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Well, I don't know what straight man in reality would be like, hey, I'm pegging me. I promise you not.
It's on the rise. Like I don't get it. I'm so befuddled by how many, because I talk about this shit. I probably shouldn't talk about this shit, but sometimes I'll be talking to a girl and she's like, yeah, my ex used to love it. Like, what the fuck? Like, all right, so your ex was gay. Like, that's the only conclusion a logical person could come to.
That question should be, is your ex with a dude now?
Yeah, I'm sure.
They're gonna make a rule on this to where it's like, hey, it's only gay if you own. Like what? No. You had it in you.
Right.
All right, Aaron, would you like to offer your argument for how it's gay?
So this prompt feels very Andrew Tate-ish to me. It sounds like something he would say. So I kind of hear his point, right? You should be having sex to have kids, and if you're not. So you're gay now. That does sound like something he would say. 100% if the pegging thing.
That's gay. Yeah.
I've had more girls wanting to try the back door than no one's ever said, "Oh, I want to do that. I want to peg a guy." I've never heard that.
I have. I've had to play defense, and yeah. It's a turn off. It's a turn off because you're with
even a finger.
It's all gay. It's all gay. All right, but I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Keep going, Aaron.
I guess I'm lucky I haven't experienced that, but personally I do prefer the front door. That's the part of the female anatomy that was built to be nice and warm and moist and be there for the male organ. So personally, I do prefer the front door, and if this was a quote coming from Andrew Tate, I can see his point.
What I do believe you might have been referencing it, but Andrew Tate says that he says he's disgusted by dead pussy. So when a woman is on a bunch of birth control and there's no threat of her reproductive system in operation, he calls that dead pussy, which it's hard. It is hard to fucking dispute that claim. Technically there's a lot of death going on in that pussy. Which is an orifice designed for life. So when when there's just millions of little sperm cells marching to their death, it could be disgusting, I guess.
Yeah, the pussy that government shut down.
The Democratic sperm cells and the Republican sperm cells couldn't come to an agreement. But yeah, what the fuck do you think is happening when you come in an asshole? They're all those little those happy-go-lucky sperm cells are like, boy, I can't wait to grow up to be a real boy, and then they just get to a colon or whatever the fuck's up there.
Yeah, that's that meme, bro. Yeah, bro, we're in a stripper's ass.
Doug, would you like to add?
Yeah. I mean, I was actually reading this earlier, and I saw it. I'm like, oh shit, maybe is it? To the point of dead pussy, I mean, what's coming out of your butt? It's just dead plants and animals coming out.
Yeah.
So in that sort of sense, it is kind of weird. What's the only orifice that both men and women have other than the mouth and ears and the nose and everything on the face? It's your butthole. So, I mean, in that sort of sense, you could in theory replace the balls and just say, a tranny with an ass is is not gay in that
Yeah, like
situation. So
you're fucking something that's on dudes. Like that's the only time that you're not is when you're having sex with a biological woman. You know, like.
Right. So I saw where you were going with this one, and I did just want to end it because this is kind of gross and disgusting. You know. But who poops here?
Everybody.
Everybody poops, right?
Yeah.
I think pooping is gay a little bit too, in my opinion. It doesn't involve the butt. It doesn't involve a large log coming out of it. So, in that sort of sense, I would argue that anything to do with the butt is kind of gay. And that's my argument. There you go.
Fuck, I gotta stop throwing up now.
Sorry.
Does blue team want to make a rebuttal? Or should we just nix this question?
I'm sorry. I've actually thought about the poop thing before. I was like, oh, it's so weird.
I mean, that would be gay if it was going in.
Right, that's the other thing. Yeah, it's about going in, not coming out. So.
I got a rebuttal for the poop is gay part. I got a rebuttal for that. So if I'm in the club, man, I really gotta go, and it's sitting there, it's there, it's gotta come out. But then I'm in the club, and I'm like, fuck, I can't be gay. I cannot be gay. I gotta. It's like, what, do I just fight the
Don't be gay.
Yeah, I mean, I would think that, damn, if that's the case, I gotta just fight the feeling, and then just hope like the gas and all this shit goes away in general. And I don't have to poop anymore. Thankfully, the poop gets turned to puke, and I can throw it up. I mean, if I got a man fling in the stupidest way ever, then I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess I can make a new rebuttal to that, to where like, okay, if I go take a shit in the bathroom and no guy is in there, it's not gay. I guess that's the rule that I can.
That's a good rule.
That's the only rule I can make. If a guy walks in, then I gotta stop shitting immediately. Like, wait for him to go out. And then when he goes out the door, then I can shit again. And then, like I said, there's no walk of shame. I don't want that guy to know what I look like.
I mean, it's probably the most vulnerable thing a human being can do. So in that sort of sense, anything that has to do with an anus, in my opinion, might be a little gay.
Yeah. It's not like the guy's gonna be in the bathroom and he's like, shh, let it go. Yeah, you're in trouble.
So, this reminds me of like the Always Sunny in Philadelphia episode where they try and solve the like the bathroom crisis, and I think the conclusion is that they come to like the number 1 room and the number 2 room. I can't remember, but I don't know. It's, if you think about the pioneers the brave souls who invented butt sex, they were gay guys, right? So like when in Rome, do as the Romans do. If you're doing as the Romans do, you're, you know, what are you? You're gay, in my opinion. But that's neither here nor there. All right, do you guys want to do like one more?
We should do one where we just kind of talk about it. Because I feel like most of these are just sort of a discussion to get to that a little bit.
You want like an open proposal?
Sure.
All right, I'll let you, Doug. I'll let you start off. Bring your topic to the floor.
So this is one that ChatGPT didn't do, and we didn't talk about, but egalitarianism and androgyny are a blight of civilization.
And do you...
This is probably 2 or 3 of our prompts put together here.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, just for the sake of argument, we'll talk about egalitarianism, which is, of course, the right thing. Here, I'll just bring up the definition. Relating to or believing in the principle that all people are equal and deserve equal rights and opportunities. And then androgyny is, of course, men looking like women and vice versa.
And how do you feel about that?
me personally.
Yeah.
So I think we're all coming to a point now where we've seen the result of most of this equalization between the two genders, and the kind of overreaching step of DEI and trying to make sure everybody gets equal rights. It's all about what are rights. What rights do we have as humans? What rights do we, and opportunities, especially. I think in the actual act of trying to make everything equal, you actually make everything unequal. I think that's the big point that people who, DEI and all these other things, I think that's a big point that they don't like to point out is in the act of actually trying to make things equal, you lower standards, you lower pretty much every single entry point that you get into to make things equal, and in fact making things unequal. So that's pretty much where I stand on that. And then the androgyny stuff just kind of goes, it kind of mixes in with that. Just obviously, like what we said earlier about men and women in the military, is not the same. And Sean's been a perfect example of teaching us that. And I think all of us can really understand how much damage we can do with women. And I think that having those rights and opportunities in the true un-egalitarianism, being that the patriarchy and the matriarchy are two separate things, I think in finding that, you do find true equality.
Does anybody have any disagreements with that? Does anybody want to does anybody want to pose any other controversial thoughts that they
or add to? We just add to it.
Yeah, I just want to add to that we're not the mask is off and we can share thoughts. While I would oppose like government restrictions, and I do think there should be equality of opportunities, people that are I'm against hierarchies, everybody's equal, like those leftist people that say stuff like that, that's just nuts. We have to have competency. And you're right, Doug, some of these things we did, we need to encourage women in school, we've set up these things to make them more equal. Okay, well now we've seen how that's gone too far. So, yeah, 100% agree with your thoughts there. And androgyny, right, we evolved two separate sexes for a reason. Right, the males with higher upper body strength to bring home the bacon, literally, for the women, because they're better at raising children. I can't produce a child and push it out of me. So women can do that. So yeah, 100% with you, Doug.
Agreed.
Yeah. Go ahead, Sean. Go ahead.
No, you can go first.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like the equality thing, I wish it was, like you said, I wish it was just common sense what we're talking right now. Except, sorry me to say this, because now we're just so divided in so many fucking ways to where, for example, like if we look at what the left is doing, there's like I think they're pushing out more of like the bullshit more than ever. And I say it because, like, for example, like on Netflix, you guys probably heard how the stock went down.
Mm-hmm.
It's because of two kid shows that they had. I see it. It was about like they had two shows about like pushing transgenderism on kids, and one of the I think one of the creators was on Twitter or just online making fun of fucking Charlie Kirk, and then that person got fired from their job. And so if you look at, and plus, you go back to what I was saying about the Super Bowl, like Bad Bunny being part of the Super Bowl, knowing that everyone's saying that, it's because they want a Mexican up there. No, it's not. This is a whole shot at Trump. That's all it is. And it's a shot. It's not also just a shot at Trump. It's a shot at masculinity. And if you look at equality,
I feel like if you're not anywhere near what they look at as equality, then you're like an enemy. So I would
Brandon, for us who don't know really much about Bad Bunny, can you elaborate on that a little bit more? Just a little bit, just so that we're
little bit,
'cause-
yeah. Oh no, I can. So Bad Bunny is just he's a reggaeton artist from Puerto Rico. He's another artist that I say that got caught up in selling your soul for shit. I said because when he first came out, it was all about trap music, gangster. He's wearing bathing ape, all this shit, and I thought he was cool. Then I nowhere, he was one of those artists that really sold his soul to like Hollywood and music industry, and now he has like satanic rituals in his shit. Yeah, I know. And he's also been on stage kissing other men on stage.
So he's got to be in the Super Bowl then, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Well, because of also Jay-Z picking up, but all of it, and plus he wouldn't come back to the U.S. To do shows because he's afraid that ICE would pop up at his shows. So he'll perform in Puerto Rico, but because Jay-Z and like how he's against ICE, he decides to bring Bad Bunny, which caused a whole bunch of commotion, and now you're seeing a whole bunch of separation, and even more separation from equality from people that think common sense, saying like, wait, we don't understand a word he says. Why is he coming? And he doesn't even respect America. Like, why is he coming to our state? While other people on the other side are just like, oh, you guys are just racist. You guys are like Mexicans. You guys just support ICE. Taking out illegal immigrants. I'm like, to me, like common sense. So, and that's another thing. We're getting too far away from common sense in general. Like, there's just too many things that are not even in reality getting pushed. They get pushed to our children, get pushed to us, and yeah, I wish it was going back to equality. Things of common sense, but I don't think it is anytime soon. Especially at least for the next 4 years.
Yeah, like I don't necessarily find anything about Donald Trump like redeeming. I think that the left is responsible for him winning 2 presidencies because like he is as flawed of a human being as he is, he's got more common sense than like every single fucking leftist. You know what I mean? Like they just have these like terribly cold takes, like, and yeah, like normal middle of the road people would rather side with Donald Trump, who is like an egotist and a raging maniac, and he's petty and he's like juvenile and he's insulting and he's disrespectful, but he's still more like level-headed than every single fucking leftist politician since like I don't even know who.
Yeah, you're right. And if you think about it, Donald Trump back then was really like respected as far as like people in business and even people in like rap music in general.
Mm-hmm.
Like the amount of people that rapped about Donald Trump in their songs because he was a businessman and he knew how to make money, things that matter. Oh, he was heavily respected. It wasn't until like he started saying some things of the truth that the left didn't like. Like they didn't like he was exposing the truth. And then look what happened. Yeah, rappers come on saying F Donald Trump, and you've had saying, oh, he's a racist. I'm like, where did he say he was being racist? He said nothing but a lot of the truth that people are afraid to say. And then look at we got Biden, we got all the wokeism back, we got all of everything that was upside down wrong. Pretty much how the left was able to scam and take money from citizens of the U.S. And then what happened? Trump comes back in office, puts the masculine man back in action.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, people such as like J.D. Vance, RFK pushing masculinity, with push-ups and sit-ups
and health, dude, health and fitness. We like our
health and fitness, yes.
Our previous what was it? I think it was Secretary of Healthcare was like an obese transgender, like.
Oh, Lord, fuck.
And now we got a 65-year-old who's able to bust out like 100 sit-ups and do like 30 pull-ups. Like,
yeah, and mind you, he could do that. And the person, I forgot the name, but the one that's running for mayor in New York had a video of him on the bench press and couldn't do one rep.
What's
And
his name?
Mandali or
something.
Robert Mandali.
Yeah, something like that. It just shows that, like, they've been really showing their colors. And look what happened when Charlie Kirk got, assassinated. Immediately, you saw of like which friends are really, like, you could say evil in a way.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know more than half of the people I know did things like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I thought something like that's supposed to unite us. Like, the freedom of speech is now at stake.
Yeah. I would like to bring this back to the original point about equality, right? Like, it did seem like with that first Trump presidency, it felt like a lot of people. I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. I voted for Hillary the first time around, so don't hate me too much. But no, I'm just kidding. I was none the wiser. I was coming out of college, didn't understand. But I guess that was the attempts, right, to go towards equality. And there was a weird swing in these past 12 years, or this past 8 years, with that equality trend that we saw. And I think that a lot of people saw in Biden's presidency that the skew of equality was actually coming under fire, and it was really becoming this weird, just weird sensation where we all felt like, I think we were all kind of just being, I don't want to be too weird, but castrated in a way. And I don't know about you, but genital mutilation is pretty much not equality. It's pretty much the opposite of it. And yeah, I think that equality is only equal when you're talking about two different genders. You're talking about two completely different types of equality in that way. And
that's a good point. Yeah, like there's equality indicates an equation, and then there's no equation without two sides of the equation. You know what I mean? So like, so androgyny definitionally like undermines equality. You know?
Yeah, summation of zero. You get to equality with androgyny, you get to the, everything equals zero, as opposed to this side equal this side, and having two different functional equations that can equal an actual valid equation, as opposed to equaling zero. Which, I don't think any of us want our children being produced by conveyor belts and machines and stuff like that. So unless we're moving towards that sort of society, and I think we need to keep with the equalities that we had.
Yeah, I think society in general, they don't want us to have equality, and they don't want us to have common sense. Like, they want to keep us stupid beyond belief. They want women to think they're boss babes and continue to struggle trying to hold up a household with 2 kids by themselves. They want men to just be completely unmasculine, stay locked into their phones, watching Pornhub, OnlyFans, Fansly. They don't want today's younger men to even look at a gym. They don't want that. They're so against RFK teaching classes on doing pull-ups and push-ups. When I'm like, that is just it goes back to a Christian. That's just health. Like, they don't want us to look at people like Seba, that global fitness competitor. They don't want us to look at people like Arnold Schwarzenegger. They don't want to have us look at people like Ronnie Coleman. They don't want us to look at things like that anymore.
Yeah.
And so they.
Wait, I wanted Sean. I feel like you got cut off. Did you have anything you wanted to add?
Sorry, go ahead, man. That's right. I was just going to talk about the equality thing. Sure, I think there should be equality, but unfortunately, I think in opposition to most of you guys, there should be one standard, like Hegseth said. Everybody should be at the same level. There shouldn't necessarily be a female standard and a male standard, because that does dumb down the people that aren't qualified for whatever that standard's been established for. just like we do in schools. If you have different sets of qualifying SAT scores or pre-existing GPAs to get in, then you're lowering the aggregate quality of the output. So, sure, is there room for androgyny? Absolutely. But you got to have those things established. Like, I don't want there to be a female standard for somebody that's in a combat role. But on the opposite token, there could feasibly be different standards based on whatever the career field is, for example. So I just think that us trying to over equalize is creating lack of equalization.
Right. And I think you both kind of just made me think of something. Brandon, you mentioned common sense, and Sean's talking about standards. I think it's interesting when you look like back, I don't know, we all went through high school at a different age. So when we have the two different standards for PE, right? I don't think it's taught enough, and I think it's dangerous for us to say, oh, it's just common sense, right? So I think it's a matter of us not teaching those sort of standards when it comes to these things. When it comes to the gym class, they're saying, okay, there's these two standards. Well, why is that, guys? Can we explain that to the human condition, why that is? That's a big fact of our biology, and we're not even mentioning it. It's just shown to us. So I think you're right. It should be common sense, Brandon, but I think that it's dangerous to kind of portray, oh, it should just be common sense. But we should be like sort of laying these groundworks out for children and families and all that type of stuff when we come to that thing. So sorry, I didn't mean to stick my thumb up, I guess.
Give yourself proud. I like that.
Yeah, baby.
Mic drop.
But yeah, I do think it is a matter of us talking about it. I mean, it is not talked about enough. I do have conversations with a lot of people around this, and I have a lot of people on the other side. I used to be on the other side a little bit, and I have friends who are, sexually on the other side. So I don't really want to sort of upset them, but it like you Brandon said, it is kind of common sense. But when you kind of have to show that it's common sense, and that means with proof and all this stuff. So we gotta, I think a big thing is teaching younger people about this type of stuff in a way that shows the bigger picture, I guess. So showing that, this is what's going to be like in the real world. You guys aren't going to have this easy gym class, later down the road, and actually explaining that to kids.
Do you guys think the LGBTIAQ plus movement is in need of a split? Because if you break it down by the letter, LGB are 3 letters that correspond to a sexual orientation. That means like who you want to fuck. But
and what gender you are.
Yeah.
Part 2.
Well, yeah, what gender you are attracted to. But TIAQ plus is not about your sexual orientation, but about your identity. And that second half of the spectrum is confused about their identity. They're like, I don't think anybody is so old school and thinks that like gay people are just confused. That's we know that like homosexuals have a definite identity. You know what I mean? So like I don't think that they should be lumped in with this they shouldn't be lumped in with this movement of people that are going through like an identity crisis,
Yeah, I think you have people who are identifying and saying, we're not a part of that.
Yeah.
That makes no sense to us.
100%. Yeah.
And those are the people who I'm friends with who get that type of stuff.
Yeah.
They get that. Okay, they're gay, but I don't want to be a woman. That doesn't even make any sense to me.
Yeah.
So to combine them together, you're actually confusing the group together. They're confused within themselves in that sort of capacity. And
Yeah.
I know plenty of gay people who do not want any part of the other situation.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like it's a
I have the
growing.
same thing.
Yeah.
I think all the trans stuff tried to latch onto the momentum that existed behind
Mhm.
the gay
Yeah.
and bisexual stuff.
I
Because they
think
know
that's
on
what
their
really
own
pushed
accord
it.
they wouldn't be able to stand.
100%. Yeah, I think that's what really pushed it is, the trans part, because before it's like we never really had a problem with gay people at all. Like, I have a lot of friends that are gay.
Yeah.
But things that I think because I think the trans part was the heaviest thing that they pushed to where it was completely unattractive to us. To like we had to be pushed on the children every chance they got. And I guess the points where even some, like a lot of gay people I knew, were tired of it. Like, it was to where the trans were getting pushed more than like regular gays. Because there are because if we were being completely transparent, there are masculine gays out there.
Yeah.
That from when they get the trans that pushed on them, it gets annoying to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, we don't show the whole flamboyant side, but yes, we're gay, but I'm just a regular guy like everyone else. But then you guys are pushing this transgender things on, to where it's like, hey, we don't even push this gay stuff on that we're about to children.
Yeah.
Well, the trans side is being pushed on to shows on Netflix, Nickelodeon, Disney. Like they're ruining everything for these children. Now it's like they haven't even turned 12 yet, and they're thinking already about becoming trans. It's like if they want to do stuff like that, let them be grown. Like let them grow up into what they are supposed to be. Then let them make that decision. Don't push it on them from when they're like first to fifth grade, which is sick and demonic in my opinion. And I know a lot of masculine gay men that feel the same way.
Yeah.
Most normal people feel that way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's
you're right.
And
I think if you have a teacher that's teaching that stuff, I think a male should be able to come in there and just do a boxing fight right in the middle of the ring, and then we'll see. Yeah. And then they'll actually get taught true, real, what's really going on with standards and everything like that. I'm just making a joke, obviously.
Yeah. But honestly, I've never disliked liberalism as much as I do today. I totally understand what Malcolm X was saying, that the liberals are the foxes in the hen house that smile but you can see their fangs, but I would like to see a world where there are two competent political parties. I'd like to see a world where there's three political parties, so that way people don't just have to vote for who they think is less evil. They can actually vote for who they think is best. But for obvious reasons, they're never going to do that. But I think that this LGBTIAQ plus agenda is it has been the undoing of the Democrat Party, and until they figure it out and start approaching some of these things with common sense, they're going to be doomed for as long as it takes.
Yeah, I'll tell you, a lot of it is by design and greater than just the Liberal Party. It's by design by the powers that be, in a whole agenda to demasculinize and in essence depopulate the planet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is the definition of true evil, right? I mean, just everything against God, everything against what it is to be mankind. It's now trying to turn into something else kind in that sort of capacity.
Yeah.
Sterilized.
Right.
You can eat sea bugs.
Yeah.
What is that?
Love it.
Craziest, bro, is that even if you look at certain
Like TV channels, they don't put anything God related on there. For example, there was a football player for the Texans that won a football game. He was in an interview, and he was talking about the Lord Jesus Christ, while talking to the reporter on Channel 7. They immediately cut that part out.
Who was it? Was that Nico Collins, or was it like Nico Collins or Tank Dell or something like that? I remember.
I think so. He was one of the players from the Texans then.
Yeah.
It was earlier last year.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, it was.
And that's like the most normal reaction. Like, I want to thank Jesus Christ, like after winning something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. There's a reason why people that even talk about Jesus Christ, like on the streets. Like you see those IG reels, people talking about Jesus Christ on the streets. They're not doing anything wrong. They're not saying anything against LGBTQ or anything. They're just literally saying the power of Jesus, and people are attacking them.
I think Will Howard won the FBS college championship, and then like we said, his first instinct was to thank God, give all praise, all glory be to God, and I think they at first tried to prohibit him from going up on the stage and collecting the trophy. He was the quarterback of Ohio State that just won the national championship, and they were still trying to suppress his spirituality,
Yeah, I think, and how that is that they will cut anything Jesus Christ related. However, if you look at certain Grammy performances and they are really satanic looking, that is when it's a problem. They have no problem with people of Bad Bunny, Sam Smith doing these demonic performances or showing demonic performances in their music, and even Lil Nas X, they tolerated it for how long?
Yep.
And he had a whole music video of him dancing on the devil, and even made a Nike shoe that Nike didn't really didn't approve of, but it was a demonic shoe. But all those were just Hollywood and music in general telling you to really sacrifice your soul so you can make it big. It's really the executive in there with his legs wide open saying, "Hey, how famous do you want to be?"
You're right.
All right,
That's all it is.
so we've been going for 3 hours, and I want to applaud all you guys. You guys were all awesome sports. Thank you for humoring me on this. Do you guys have any closing remarks you want to make? Now's the time. Try and keep it somewhat short, but if you want to say hi, Mom, or praise God, now's the time.
I don't think my mom's watching this. If she is, she's gonna hate me even more.
Anyone? I can cut it off. I can cut it off if nobody has anything to say.
I'll just say I really liked helping. I just kind of talk to Chris about every week because we live kind of close and we're all in MOA, so we try to hang out and everything. But I would probably like to do something a little bit more in depth, a little bit later with him. I talked about his podcast a lot, and so yeah, I like to do this stuff. I love talking to people. I love these discussions. I love setting stuff up. I'm programmers. I love technology. So hit me up for anything. I think Chris said he's going to be putting all our Instagrams in the description. So we'll probably do so. Hopefully, Chris, if you're in agreement with that, we can do something like this a little bit later.
Yeah,
on the road this year.
Absolutely.
I agree. I want to say thank you for this. This was awesome. I enjoy talking to people with brains, and they're few and far between, especially here in California. So thank you for this. Thanks for the panel discussion, and I would love to do it again. And I agree, a more in-depth, less number of topics, but more time on one where we can really dig in. That would be awesome as well.
I talked to him about because I was reading through them, and I'm like, okay, well, we're all on one side. And I thought it would be a good idea. I'll create a few prompts for Chris and see how close to the center he is on those issues, and we'll try to find people on both sides.
Yeah, definitely. If you guys know any blue-haired, septum-pierced, thumbs, that's that they're built like thumbs. If you know any of them that are radical radical progressives that want to come on my show and like speak their mind. I would love to have them as insufferable as they may be. They probably make for great content, and I'd love to.
Or they'll walk out.
Yeah, and
I think a walkout.
It's kind of annoying because there's actually like they've done studies where like the algorithm actually gets the most clicks when you use the words rage quit and like crash out in the title of your video. Those like get the most clicks. So like,
yeah.
But like I don't want to be the kind of host that like infuriates my guests so much that they leave, like.
But then your podcast will blow up.
Yeah. All right, I'll sell out for the money.
No, I think there could be a better. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, definitely appreciate this opportunity. Thank you, Chris, and being here with all you wonderful intellectual gentlemen. And Chris, this podcast is quite remarkable. These discussions you've been having over the past several months. So this is really cool. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll say, Chris, thank you again. Yeah, like this is like my second time on. I try to push the bar to see how close I can cancel, but I think I'm doing a great job so far. But aside from jokes, it is always a great podcast to be on. And again, Chris, thank you for having me for a second time.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, if you're not getting canceled, you're not doing shit. You know what I mean? Like they can't cancel nobody. So if you're getting canceled, it means that you're
ruffling feathers.
Yeah, exactly. All right,
thank you again, Chris.
Of course. Thank you guys all, and I'm gonna go into my conclusion now. So, guys, we're gonna wrap it up.
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up.
Our next episode, I think it's next Friday. We're gonna continue with this debate thing, and guys, feel free to send me prompts that you want me to use. Who do we got? We got Andrew, Carlos, Dylan, and Kai. And Kai was actually the person who said he wanted to debate. So I'm looking forward to that. So that's on Friday, October 10th is going to be the next episode. If you want to be notified whenever we go live, just turn on the notification bell, and you'll be notified every time we go live. Once again, we want to humbly thank our listeners and pay them ample gratitude for their patronage. Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to have such a high-quality interactive show. So thank you, audience.
So the audience are a bunch of hoes. Yup.
I'd like to take this time to remind all of our listeners that we're spreading like a virus. The Good Faith Podcast is now officially on YouTube, as well as Apple Podcasts, Pandora, Spotify, RSS.com, Amazon Music, Samsung Podcasts, Listen Notes, iHeartRadio, and Patreon and Twitch. On Patreon, where we're going to build additional value for the multiple tiers of donors with special content, super chat priority, and VIP in-person meetings. We do value your attention, so thank you for quieting your TikTok brain for the last 3 hours. This is a reminder, if you feel you got any value from our show, it takes basically zero extra work to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and you might as well share it with a friend or family member and see if we can spread that way. It'll move us closer to our goal of having thousands of subscribers. It'll bump us up in the algorithm. It'll expose us to more potential listeners. If you guys want to share us with more of your friends and family, we would be delighted. The quickest way for us to broaden our exposure is for you listeners to each share us with one friend. We appreciate it from the bottom of our hearts. And same with my guests. You guys feel free to, share it with your loved ones. If you live in the greater Philadelphia area, you want to guest star on our show, want to go on... you want to go on the Good Faith Podcast, you could live anywhere. I wrote this script when I was only having people in Philly on, but now, I'm worldwide. So hit me up. I've even done a show with a guy in Sydney. What up, Trevor? The Patreon link's in the description. All proceeds will go towards rent, food, electricity, new computer equipment to improve our general show quality, and Clark's medical expenses.
Money, please.
Oh, no, there's no money.
Oh, my dad. No problem.
To all of our faithful audience,
So the audience are a bunch of hoes.
Yup.
We wish you a wonderful weekend, a happy and healthy lifestyle, and to all of you, we bid you goodbye.
Goodbye. And if you need money, sell rocks. I heard that's what they do around here.